Hello everyone and welcome back to the SteemTrail Gaming podcast. Today is the 4th March of 2019. My name is Kralizec and I will be one of your two hosts for the evening, the second being Tygergamer. Hey Tiger, how you doing?
Doing excellent. How about yourself?
I'm really super tired today. I think...
Yeah, you sound kind of sick.
Oh, I do have a bit of a cold. I do have my trusty old tea here, which will serve me.
There you go.
But, yeah, the reason I'm tired is because I was moving a ton of my stuff from my apartment to my new apartment today, so it was a lot of carrying of heavy shit. Like, I know it doesn't seem from the setup because the setup doesn't really show much of my apartment, but, maybe next week, I'm not sure if next week, but in 2 weeks for sure, we will be airing from a completely new apartment from my side.
Okay, awesome.
But, we're here today to talk about video games, so what do you say? Let's do that?
Alright, let's do it. Yeah.
So, what have you been playing this week?
Well, first I get to play a game called Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh, that game is a bit old, but just awesome.
Yeah.
Did you play it for the first time?
What's that?
Did you play it for the first time?
Sure did.
Okay, so give us your first impressions of a game that's 2 years old.
Honestly, the beginning is really sad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But also, so far I've been really enjoying it. I freaking love the game's art style. I mean, wow.
Yeah, this is one of those games that we just have to stand there in awe and be like, holy hell, why aren't these people put into museums?
Yeah, really. Yeah. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, I've been really enjoying it. But honestly, though, what really got me to play it was I went and renewed my subscription to Game Pass.
Oh.
So
I really thought that maybe you played it because you were like, I have to play this because before it comes to the Switch, because, you know, that was our last week's story that Ori might be coming to the Switch.
yeah. But nah, the reason I got it was because it was on Game Pass. So,
you know what, honestly, I think Ori would be a good fit for a Switch.
oh yeah, most definitely.
It's just, you know, it's not that sort of a game that requires that powerful of a console.
Yeah.
But it has so much character put to it. This is the perfect game for, like, riding on a bus, I would say. You know, you have like a 2-hour commute. Yeah, just take my Switch and I'll just play Ori. This is like a great game for that, I would say.
Yeah.
So what did you think of it mechanically?
Mechanically, yeah. So far, the game feels great to play. To me, it just feels like any other Metroidvania, just about. But yeah, I've been enjoying it.
I can imagine that you have been enjoying it because, honestly, this is one of the games that I think you can just give to anyone, and they will be able to enjoy it. Unless they're like really set on never ever playing video games.
Yeah. Or they're not big into Metroidvania games either.
You know what? I actually don't think that. I think that people, even those who don't enjoy Metroidvanias, they will enjoy Ori just because of the art style, of the music, of the story.
Oh.
This is sort of a game that you don't really have to care if it's your genre. This is a game you should just play if you are a gamer.
Yeah.
I would like, for example, I have tons of friends who I would never recommend Hollow Knight to. Because that really is a Metroidvania that requires you to enjoy that genre. Even though it's amazing. The game is just bonkersly great.
Yeah. And that's another game. That's another game I really like their art style for that as well.
But Hollow Knight, I feel, is more of a pure Metroidvania compared to Ori. More focuses on that fact, while Ori focuses more on the story and just putting you inside of the world. Well, in Hollow Knight, yes, there is story, there is that stuff, but you don't encounter it as often, I would say. And I remember I had like 200 hours in Hollow Knight, actually.
Dang.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the shit out of that one.
Yeah, shit, I got that game on both my Switch and PS4, so...
I can see why. I can see why, definitely.
Yeah.
So, talk.
Yeah. But yeah, if you are an Xbox player or if Game Pass comes to PC, I highly, if you get Game Pass, I highly recommend that you give this game a try. Game Pass only costs $10 a month, so it's a good deal.
And if you're a Switch player, then I suggest you hope that the Ori actually does come to the Switch.
Yeah.
Okay, I myself this week, with the fact that I have been moving since the 28th, and I've actually been also visiting my parents, because this week's just been busy, man. I got to play only one game, and it was a game I played for a reason. And the reason being that I wanted to try out this game so I would know whether I should recommend it to my dad. And that's Dirt Rally 2.0. And holy hell, have I forgotten how hard rally games actually are? When I first started the game, I was literally incapable of passing the first turn. Sorry, there's some weird noise coming from you right now.
There is?
Do you hear me, Tyler?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Give me a second, I'll try to restart my headphones. Do you hear me?
Yep, sure can.
Okay, how about now?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, there was some weird glitch with my headphones there for a second.
Understandable.
Okay, so, again, back to Dirt Rally. So, I totally was incapable of passing a single turn without crashing.
Wow.
And I used to play a ton of rally games when I was, I don't know, like 13, 14. Like, it was one of my favorite genres. So it took me definitely at least like 2 hours to actually get okay with the driving model and get good at it. And you know what?
What?
This is one of the few games where I would say, if you don't have a wheel, it's not maybe that good of an idea to play this. Now, okay, I'm sort of overstating how hard it is, I know. But for fans of rally, this is a must-have. For fans of serious racing games, this is a must-have. It's just, it looks great, the driving model is amazing. It's hard as hell, as rally should be. So yeah, the game is obviously pricey. It's a full price release. It's at $54, and if you want the deluxe edition, that's $74. Interestingly, it does have mixed reviews on Steam. So let's actually take a look at what it doesn't have. So they don't like the fact that it doesn't have forced feedback. Which, okay, I can imagine being quite of a big deal for serious rally drivers. There's a complaint from a Polish guy who says the Polish co-drivers are very relaxed. Like they don't sound. They sound like they're sitting there in a studio and not like doing driving. And the single player does require to be online. Yeah, a lot of people are not liking the new co-pilots, which I can understand being sort of a irritating thing. And they don't. Okay, there's one thing that they don't really like, and that's RaceNet. And I can understand why they wouldn't like this. So RaceNet, what it is in the game is like every time you race and you score somehow, you get these in-game credits that can buy you new cars, upgrade them, and it's all tied into this online service. And yeah, I did experience a few issues, not that many. I didn't like have really problems playing. It was like, can't connect, retry. I clicked retry and it connected. But yeah, I can understand this being an issue. But gameplay-wise, I don't see any complaints. Mostly people are complaining about the online service, so I do hope that they can fix their servers as soon as possible. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, I guess the best question to ask is this a good recommendation for your dad?
No. It's too hard for him. He's more of a casual gamer.
Yeah, that's understandable.
And I actually did like I pirated like an old Colin McRae Rally 2 just to compare the difficulty, because I was like, was it really this hard? I don't think it was that hard, and it really wasn't. So I was just, you know what? If you want to play more Rally, I'll just download you one of the old ones, and you can have fun with that.
Yeah.
Because this is truly a thing for people who like own pedals, who have a wheel. What I would love to see is if they could somehow incorporate VR into this.
Oh yeah, that'd be awesome.
And obviously, if you would be one of the really rich guys, you know, getting that setup where you have that one chair that actually makes motions, you have like 6 monitors around yourself, so you feel fully immersed, or just have a VR headset instead of 6 monitors, but the chair that actually moves with you. Oh man, I would actually be willing to pay money to go to an arcade that had that.
Oh yeah,
Because,
that'd be awesome.
yeah, I guarantee you would crash in like 7 seconds. Yeah, but these cars, their behavior is nothing like you ever experienced. You know, like a regular car, I know, like a good sports car, it will take like 7 seconds to accelerate to 100 kilometers or 60 miles. These cars will take like 2.5 to 3 seconds. They're just like, and the weirdest thing is, they take regular production cars. I know, like a Volkswagen Golf. You know that car, right?
I'm not a big car guy. I don't even know most of the cars.
So this is like a small car, like a car that girls buy to go shopping. They completely strip it of everything that doesn't have to be there. Put specialized brakes, transmissions, a new engine, everything. Like, and that's what you get put into. It's like, you know, my car, I have a Dacia Duster, and it has like 84 horsepower. These cars will have around 300 while being like half the weight. Wow. These cars are just bonkers, and I wish I could drive one, just like on a straight road for 20 seconds and then step out, just shaking because holy hell, what the fuck was this car? But I would truly enjoy that. So yeah, for anybody who's a serious fan of racing, and I mean serious, like anybody who really loves making it as realistic as you can, Dirt 2.0 is a good option as long as you can deal with the occasional online connectivity issues, and hopefully those will get fixed as soon as possible. Okay, anything else you played this week?
Oh yeah, the second game I got to play is Crackdown 3.
Oh, Crackdown 3. So what can you tell us about that?
Well, it's just like any other Crackdown. If you played any of the previous Crackdown games, you'll be right at home with this one.
Is this the GTA in space, pretty much? Or in the future?
Not space.
In the future,
yeah, more like GTA, but you have superpowers. You like go around, hop from building to building, throw cars around, punch crap out of people, shoot crap out of people. Get to have all these different crazy weapons. Honestly, this game feels like it was made back in the late 2000s.
In what way?
Well, for one, like the mechanics, like the gameplay, like as soon as you leave the starting area, you can just go and just take down any of the bosses in any order that you want to. And one of the things I really do like, is they actually have boss fights in this game. Like at one point, you actually are fighting a guy in a freaking giant mech, while you're just on the ground, just running, trying to dodge it without trying to get killed.
Yeah, that seems like a thing that GTA could actually use at times. Something more challenging to do.
Yeah. But yeah, Crackdown 3, if you're a fan of the series, I'd say give it a try. If you're not, but you still want to give it a try, it's on Game Pass as well, which is another reason why I got it.
So I wonder, what do you prefer, GTA or Crackdown?
Oh, between those two, I would have to say Crackdown.
And the reason for that being?
It doesn't take itself seriously. It's a lot more over the top, unlike GTA 5, where it used to be crazy and over the top, and it didn't take itself seriously, to where now it tries to be the realistic, serious type of game.
Yeah. But you sort of have to admire GTA 5 for how long it's just been going with its online capabilities.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, personally, in terms of, I would say the best GTA clone that I prefer out of all is I prefer the SteemTrail series over GTA and Crackdown. So.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think I've played Crackdown ever, to be honest. But I obviously played GTA, because who hasn't?
Yeah.
And I did play a bit of Saints Row, some of them.
Which one did you play?
The one where they're in hell. I think that's number 3.
That's actually a spinoff. That's Get Out of Hell.
Oh, Get Out of Hell. So yeah, I played that one. But yeah, I enjoyed that one very much as well.
Yeah, honestly, my favorite though would have to be Saints Row the Third. But yeah, getting back to Crackdown 3. Yeah, but for the most part, I've been enjoying it. Sure, sometimes it does get a little repetitive, because you just go around just destroying stuff just to get to the bosses, and kill the bosses, get to the final boss, and that's it. But yeah, Crackdown 3. Once again, if you're an Xbox player or PC player and Game Pass comes to PC, I'll say give this game a try. It only costs you $10 to try it out. So.
Okay, and I didn't play anything else. As I said, I've been moving, so not that much time for gaming. Anything else you played this week?
Yeah, the last game I played was the Division 2 beta.
Oh, the Division 2. I never really got into the first division. I tried it out. I got bored. And then
I think I played it for like 10, 20 hours after that. I just got bored of it as well.
Yeah, for me it was like 5 hours, to be honest. Like, yeah, it's shooting with numbers. I would rather play Borderlands than that, to be honest. If I wanted this genre.
Yeah, really. But yeah, the Division 2, yeah, for the most part, from what I could tell, it's just the Division, but taking place in DC.
I forgot, where did the first one take place?
New York City.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah. In this one, the dollar flu, which is in the first game, has it spread across the U.S. So. Yeah, for the most part, still the same game that the Division one was. This is the beta. I didn't get to experience the full game, so stuff might be different. But if you're a sucker for a post-apocalyptic type stuff like me and my brother are, you might find some enjoyment out of this game.
I'll be honest. I'm over this genre in general. Like looter shooters. I don't know. It's just... It was fun while it lasted. And honestly, it was just while Borderlands was there. I will try Borderlands 3.
Oh, yeah.
When it comes out. But...
Same here.
I really think looter shooters have gotten sort of stuck in a rut.
Yeah. Just like and I'm not knocking these games, but just like with this is how I feel about the Metroidvania genre as well. But I feel as looter shooters, they're starting to become oversaturated as well.
I honestly think this is because this genre or elements of the genre have been incorporated into almost all AAA standard, like the high production games.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing with like nowadays to find a traditional RPG in the veins of Oblivion, Morrowind, Gothic, or let's go even older, let's say Might and Magic. These games, when they come out, they're either really, really bad because they're just like, okay, let's try to cash in on a genre people love. Or they're truly amazing when they're done by true fans of the genre.
Yeah.
And that's because AAA games were like, okay, everybody seems to love RPG games, so let's put RPG elements into our games. And the same thing has happened for looter shooters, I feel. But the genre isn't old enough yet to actually have the people who just have that nostalgia for it to create the really great ones. You know, the ones that just honor the old masterpieces in the genre. Like Legend of Grimrock did for RPG games, for example. So I wonder maybe if like in 10 years we will have like people finally doing looter shooters good because finally we have people like, yeah, remember that day when we played Borderlands? Let's make a game like that.
Yeah.
And I'm actually afraid the same thing will happen to roguelite games in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's such an easy mechanic to implement into games that adds so much replayability. And once big-ass studios do realize that, they will start incorporating elements of roguelite gameplay into their games. And again, it will destroy the genre because everybody will just be, oh, it's just another roguelite. I played that a million times.
Yeah.
And it will really suck.
Yeah.
So, at this moment, would you give The Division 2 recommendation or not?
If you really like this genre and you like post-apocalyptic stuff, I'd say yeah. But if you're not a big looter shooter like I am, I would say wait for this game to go on sale if you really want to play it.
Yeah, that's fair. So, anything else apart from these 3 games that you played?
No, that's it.
Okay, so let's move on to the second section of the show. Let's talk gaming news. And let's start with a continuation of last week's story about a teacher who has been fired because he dared to play Fortnite with 2 of his students. So, just a little bit of a recap on the story. So, there was this teacher named Brett Belsky from New York, and he was fired after one of the parents of the kids who he played Fortnite with complained to the school, to the principal more precisely. And obviously this turned into an investigation by the Department of Education, and ultimately it was figured out that this was probably some inappropriate conduct, and he was fired with the following statement being said: Mr. Belsky was terminated based on his overall performance, including a review of his case. And now Mr. Belsky is actually suing back. He's suing the Department of Education. He wants his license, his teaching license back. He wants his job back. He wants back pay and payment for the attorney. You know, all the standard stuff you would actually expect from this. There are actually a few interesting things to take a look at here. So, Mr. Belsky himself, he points out that the DOE doesn't really have any guidelines saying that teachers should not be playing video games with their students. Which seems to be a good point in his case. Like, why would they fire him for playing games with the students if he didn't broke any guidelines? On the other hand, he has said that he did receive 3 disciplinary letters over the years as a teacher. And I don't know how much you know about the academic world, but usually it goes, you get 3 warnings in the academic world, and then you get fired. You get 3 letters of warning, and then you get fired. So, I do sort of understand why he was fired instead of just getting like a warning not to do this again. On the other hand, the question now is, did he actually do something wrong or not?
Yeah, really.
So, before I give my take on this, what is your opinion? So he was fired for playing Fortnite with 2 of his students because he promised them that he would play Fortnite with them if they improved their grades, which they did.
Honestly, the first question that comes to me is, what were his previous 3 disciplinary actions that he had letters for? And second of all, I think him just playing Fortnite with his students. Honestly, if he's just playing a game with them, I don't see no problem with that. If it's after school, if it's after school and all that, I would say, yeah. School. My opinion on this is schools, they only have power during the school hours. They should not have jurisdiction over after school lets out. Anything that happens after school should not be the Department of Education should not get involved. And if the teacher, wasn't doing anything wrong, I would say he's in the right for that.
So sadly, we do not know what the letters were for in the past. That's a good point. We should get to know what that was. But I would like to actually expand on your idea. But if it's after school activities that the DOE doesn't really have any power, I wonder, would he get fired if he promised them that he would play basketball with them after school?
Yeah, really.
Because is there really a difference?
Yeah.
Like, and it doesn't have to be basketball. Obviously, it could be anything else. He could, like, promise he would go to the library with them. I don't know. He could go to the hockey ring with them. I don't know. Just there's so many stuff that he could do with them. He could go fishing with them, for God's sake.
Yeah.
Would that be any different? Is it just another case of parents not understanding that this is just a hobby like any other? Because it was a parent who complained.
Honestly, if I was a parent, honestly, just for those examples you gave right there, like fishing, going to the library with him, or going to the hockey rink, honestly, if I was a parent, I would prefer him just play Fortnite with him and not, other stuff go down if,
Yeah, for example, who knows what could happen? There's no physical contact there. Like, what could he really do to them over a computer? It's not like he was sitting in the same room with them. It's not like he was, I don't know, touching them inappropriately. He was just playing a game with them. Okay, let's make it more akin. Let's say he promised he would play a game of Monopoly with them after the game, after they improved.
Yeah.
Would that be different? Would that be okay, or would it be wrong as well?
First, like I said, I would prefer him to be playing Fortnite with them and not doing any other stuff that might require physical contact.
Yeah. I don't think I agree with you that I would prefer him playing Fortnite. I think I would put it on equal grounds. Me personally. Because you could, if your kid doesn't like video games and he likes playing board games, yeah, sure, let the teacher play board games with him. I really don't care. If my kid is a big sports guy, sure, let him go shoot some hoops with him.
Honestly, yeah, with other stuff, yeah, they could do that. But I prefer if another person was there, just to supervise.
I understand your point. Either way, let's move on to the next topic, and this one I actually like. This is for once piece of news I can read and be happy with. So the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, is going to hold a public workshop about loot boxes. So this comes from a letter to Senator Maggie Hassan, and the chairman of FTC, Joseph Simmons, confirmed that the commission will host a public workshop about the sale of loot boxes in games. Though he didn't comment on anything other about loot boxes, because probably he really cannot. So what he wrote in the letter is, "We are currently planning a public workshop on loot boxes for later this year as one of non-law enforcement options. A workshop could provide a forum for stakeholders representing wide-ranging perspectives, including consumer advocacy organizations, parent groups, and industry members. It also could help elicit information to guide subsequent consumer outreach, which could include a consumer alert." So this is actually touching you more than me because you are in the United States. So what's your opinion on this?
Well, I think it's good that they're wanting to, educate people on loot boxes more. But also, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
me me being a gamer and all, I already know about loot boxes, so this really doesn't affect me. But people that don't play games as much, or like their parents,
Mm-hmm.
they can learn about these loot boxes and they can deal with them accordingly to how, how they see fit.
I think it's a really good thing that they're including parental organizations in this. Because let's face
Yeah,
it, kids know what loot boxes are. Maybe they don't know like exactly how addictive they are and the psychological effects of them,
yeah,
especially the younger ones. But in the end, it's their parents' job to look over them. And the parents should
yeah,
be the ones that are educated about is that no, okay, this is a game with loot boxes. The loot
yeah,
boxes are designed in a way to try to get as much money out of the consumer, which in this particular case is my kid. So maybe I should not allow my kid to make purchases in this game because it will be addictive.
yeah. Yeah, you know, one thing I started noticing,
Mm-hmm.
like on some of the newer game trailers, um, like like when I show like rated T for T or teen or rated M for mature,
Mm-hmm.
they actually like have a thing on there that says includes in-game purchases. So
Yeah, but in-game purchases doesn't necessarily mean loot boxes.
true.
So yeah, I understand your point. I actually think that I didn't really realize that it was like in trailers, etc. Because I've noticed this thing in like the Google Play Store where it has been for ages. But yeah, that's a good inclusion. Though I would prefer if they were just like forced to say includes loot boxes, don't buy this shit.
Yeah,
But in the end, it's a step in the right direction, at the very least.
yeah,
We will have to see where this will actually go. It's highly doubtful that loot boxes will just get flat out removed from games. But hopefully they will at least get made into a way where they aren't as psychologically abusive and hurtful as they are at this point in
yeah.
time. You know what pisses me the most?
What's that?
It's been literally more than a year that we have been talking about this subject,
True. That is so true.
and with the notable exception of Belgium and Netherlands, nothing has happened.
Yeah, really.
And
Uh,
it's just like we know what's the problem. We know how to fix it. Let's fucking fix the problem.
yeah,
And I do realize that it will have to be the United States who actually implement a solution for
yeah,
it to spread worldwide. Unless the United States do something about this, loot boxes will not get solved.
yeah,
You might be saying, but why not the European Union? Because the European Union doesn't have by far as much political power. Like, it's not
yeah. Not
comparable.
yeah. Not to mention, also the U.S. is besides China is one of the greatest economical powers in the world. So
Yeah, Europe does have a similar number of citizens overall,
yeah,
but the amount of game sales that are made in Europe compared to the Americas is just not really calculable. And obviously, China, you know what? China might actually do something about loot boxes, but the developers and publishers, they will only implement those changes for China. They will keep loot boxes for the rest of the world as long as they can. And for anybody who's watching this show, write a letter to your representative.
yeah,
They need to know that people actually do consider this a problem. Because they don't really game. Maybe their kids do, but their kids are probably in their 40s, so maybe their grandkids do game. But
And also better yet, especially if you've been affected by loot boxes in any negative way, then definitely write a letter to your representative.
Yeah, like write your lived experience. It's the only true way for this to get fixed.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. This one will be quick. PlayStation Vita is no longer in production as of March 1st. So yeah, it's been a good ride. And Vita actually, you know, it's been here for an incredible amount of time. It's been 8 years with us. It's just been outdated.
Yeah, you're right. Yep. Man, the Vita.
I always preferred the DS from Nintendo.
That's understandable.
And I can't wait to buy myself a Switch because I already decided I will buy it like 2 to 3 weeks before Mario Maker 2 comes out. Just so I can set it up. But why would I buy a PlayStation Vita when I can buy a Switch?
True. I would say the only reason to get a Vita is for some of its exclusives. That's the only thing I can think of to buy a Vita.
Yeah.
Honestly, I would say one of its greatest downfalls would have to be the expensive memory cards that they sold for it.
Oh, yeah. Because Sony.
Yeah. That right there is just ridiculous.
And honestly, I think that, and the fact that they used disc as a medium, was the fact why it didn't really kick off compared to Nintendo ones.
Actually, no. The Vita did not use discs. They used like a small game cards.
Oh right, no, what that was the one before it, right?
Yeah, the PSP.
I always get those two confused.
Me personally, though, I actually just download my games digitally to my Vita.
I can see why. It's the easiest way to get anything.
Yeah, and not to mention, you don't have to worry about losing your games because they're so small.
But do you know what was the nail in the coffin of the Vita?
What was that?
Smartphones.
True. That's so true. The Vita had great exclusives. Man, I spent so many hours on that thing. It's not even funny. But yeah, hate to see it go, but hey,
it's been its time.
Yep.
Okay, and let's talk about this week's big piece of news. This week's big controversy, which comes from THQ Nordic. Or from 8chan, if you prefer that. So what happened this week that THQ Nordic decided to have an Ask Me Anything session, which wouldn't really be that big of a deal. Usually these things are held on Reddit, but THQ Nordic decided to hold the event on 8chan. I don't know how many of you guys do know what 8chan is, but I'm pretty sure most of you will be familiar with 4chan.
Yeah.
And 8chan is pretty much what 4chan used to be before quote-unquote normies got to it. It's a platform where free speech is the highest value ever. You can say pretty much whatever you want. You can post whatever you think is appropriate for a situation, even if it often isn't. let me just quickly open 8chan and give you an example of a few of the boards that you can find there. So, for example, some of the more interesting ones, there's obviously stuff you would expect. There's video games, politically interact, television, movies, technology, you know, the stuff you would expect from any message board. But then you have stuff like adult baby diaper lover.
Yeah.
Boy pussy.
Oh my god.
Fringe, which pretty much is conspiracy theories. And ranging up to stuff like, there's literally a board for zoophilia here. So, as you might imagine, a lot of people were really not happy that THQ Nordic decided to host this event on 8chan. The event did actually start. It took some time, and then it pretty much abruptly ended. And a little bit of time after that, THQ Nordic actually issued an apology on their Twitter saying, yeah, sorry, pretty much. The interesting part about this is, before this ended and the apology was, you know, issued, the THQ Nordic's Twitter actually liked the replies saying the AMA is going well and saying that the criticism is just lots of sensitive Simons. So I think from this you can see the two parts of THQ Nordic just fighting. You have the people who are nerds, let's call them that, because I think that's the best way to say that without insulting anyone, who just thought it would be a fun thing to do. And then you have the corporate side of things, which one day heard what the fuck was going on. They were like, oh fuck, we have to stop this. Interestingly enough, yeah, there was explicit stuff posted in the thread. There were people saying bad words. Even THQ Nordic was explicit in their own replies. But honestly, from what I could find, I don't think the AMA really went bad. I think it went completely neutral. Exactly what I would expect from an AMA hosted on a site similar to 8chan. So now the question is, do you think they should have apologized for holding an AMA on 8chan?
Honestly, no. They should not have to apologize for that.
Because?
Because they're a gaming company, and yeah, there are gaming related threads on there. And it's not like they did an AMA on a zoophilia thread or something like that.
Yeah, that would have been sort of hilarious on one hand. Okay, let me actually expand on the topic slightly. I'll give you a bit more information. I wonder if your opinion will stay the same. 8chan is tied to a lot of controversies.
Oh yeah,
there were people doxxed there. Swatting incidents were caused by 8chan. Gamergate, which I personally don't view as a controversy because there are two views on Gamergate. Let's not go into that. But there was child pornography posted there. After hearing this, does your opinion change?
Honestly, now, obviously, I do not condone swatting and all that, but it's the freaking internet. And honestly, if this side like values free speech over anything, and you can just go on and just say whatever the crap you want, I would say honestly, if if I if I would have known that they were doing this on this site called HN, which I never even heard about until the story came out, I would probably would have jumped on the AMA myself because hey, you can say whatever you want, no censor, no censoring, so
Yeah. And as probably some of you guessed, I share Tiger's opinion. I don't think they did anything wrong. I do understand the corporate reaction because sadly the corporate world is full of people who are just cowards nowadays. They're
yeah,
afraid of any backlash. I still think this is just because people aren't used to the fact that 40,000 people saying they like or dislike something really is meaningless.
yeah,
It's like, it's the equivalent of 50 people calling, sending a letter in back in the day. If 40,000 people sent a letter in, that was a huge deal because, you know, that meant people took the time, wrote something on paper, bought a stamp, an envelope, put it all together, went to the post office, and sent it. That was a lot of work. That took time. That actually meant you were truly passionate about something. But nowadays, like, you may be passionate about an issue for 10 minutes, in which you will write a tweet and like a tweet or something.
mm-hmm.
But 20 minutes after that, you're already laughing at the newest meme.
Yeah.
You just don't give a shit anymore. And
really.
companies are yet to understand that. And not just companies. The world in general just doesn't understand that essentially the numbers have been multiplied by 10,000. If there was like 500,000 people complaining about this, sure, you probably screwed up.
Yeah.
If it's 1,000 people complaining, who the fuck cares? You did nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And I think actually, you know what will help with this? The recent YouTube dislikes. The Gillette ad. The movie trailers that get like millions of dislikes. And obviously YouTube Rewind. These show what numbers are actually, gonna accumulate when people truly dislike something. What's the number of dislikes on YouTube Rewind right now? Or was it taken down? I'm trying to get there. Let me get on the video. I can't. YouTube Rewind 2018. Okay, so it has 15 million dislikes right now. Those are the numbers when you truly screw up. 1 million means you screwed up big. But that's 1,000 times more than 1,000. 1,000 is literally like, people don't like this. Obviously, there's going to be people who don't like this. There's always going to be people who don't like you. It's just, the numbers have been skewed so much, and people don't understand it yet. That's my own personal opinion. And I do wish that even corporations, because they do have their place in our world, could learn this as soon as possible.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's move away from this piece of news. Let's talk about something almost equally negative. let's talk about how much EA and Activision bosses are paid. As they have made a list of the most overpaid bosses in the world. Of the top 100 most overpaid bosses. With number 45 being taken by Activision, actually. Not EA, as you might be surprised. And position 98 being taken by EA.
Wow.
So the Activision CEO, whose name is, what's his name? Robert Kotick. He is getting a pay of, let's round it up to $28.6 million. Which means he's getting 306 times more than the average employee at Activision. That's pretty bonkers. It's also calculated that about 12.8 million of that is considered to be, excess. I really don't know how they came up with these calculations. I highly suggest you search for this, just top 100 most overpaid CEOs. You will find this. You will be able to find more data. And Andrew Wilson, the CEO of EA, everybody's loved person. He's being paid $35.7 million. And he's being paid 371 times more than the average employee at EA. With 19.6 million being excess. And I gotta say, I really don't understand their calculations. How is EA CEO, who's getting paid more, has a larger excess, and is paid more times more than the Activision CEO in a lower position than Activision's?
Yeah, really.
I just don't understand that. Maybe I should have made more research into it, but I really didn't have the time today. I'm sorry. But I actually might look into the story more just to make my brain stop hurting me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just sad. These guys don't deserve their money, especially not Wilson. His business practices, or not just his, obviously, there's a lot more people involved in all the decision making, but holy fuck, please somebody make EA go bankrupt, please.
Seriously. Maybe when Activision and EA are teetering on bankruptcy, they might change their business model.
Or, and this will be scary, really scary, they will merge.
Oh, God.
Frightening, isn't it?
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what the reason is why I want EA to go bankrupt?
What's that?
I don't want them buying any more studios.
Yeah.
I really don't care about games like FIFA, NHL, NBA, Madden. Let them have fun with those games. Let them produce them. But please stop buying the great studios.
Yeah, really.
And destroying them with corporate shit.
Yes. And one of the greatest examples right now is freaking BioWare.
Yes. And Maxis Studios, BioWare.
Yes.
Just everything since the dawn of time. They just ruined so many great studios. Made them into corporate shitholes.
Mm-hmm.
One day this will end. But I don't know when. And I'm hoping it will be sooner rather than later.
Yeah. EA.
Just die already.
Yeah.
As a
Seriously.
company, not the people, just the company.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on from this topic that's just making us both angry into something that will just make us both drop our mouth because what the fuck. And I have to say, this is not completely a video gaming topic, but I just had to include this. A Magic the Gathering card has broken another record. An alpha version of the Black Lotus has sold for $166,000. Wow.
Wow.
It was $166,100. It was a public auction. This card will... The alpha set version of this card will never get printed ever again. There was only 1,100 made of them. Some of them have obviously been destroyed over time. A lot of them that are sold are not in that great of a condition. This one was in great condition. Great color still. There were no chips on the edges. Was just in an incredible state. This is not a card you buy to play it. This is a card you buy as an investment.
Yeah.
Just to give you an example, we actually talked about this card like a year ago, in July. Just after, how much time is that? That's 9 months. 3/4 of a year. The price has increased by 89%. And we both come from a crypto background.
Yeah.
We are used to seeing like huge jumps in prices of stuff. 89% in 9 months is still incredibly impressive.
Oh yeah.
So, if you were a kid playing Magic the Gathering, and now you just remembered, oh, I had a Black Lotus. Man, you're one lucky bastard.
Seriously, especially if it's alpha. It's part of that alpha set, and it's in good condition.
You're probably like, oh, I could go buy a house for this one card.
Yeah.
Now, the average price for a Black Lotus is around $6,000 right now. And that's not in that great of a condition. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, with that being said, that's it for the news section of today's show. Let's talk about games that are upcoming in this week.
All right.
Would you like to start?
Oh yeah, first game I got to recommend is called Left Alive, which is being developed by Square Enix, and well, one of the big things is like the character design and art style is from one of the character designers from Metal Gear, and this game is part of the Front Mission series, which is like a strategy game.
Mm-hmm.
But in this game, it's more like a third-person stealth game. And if you're a Metal Gear fan and you don't want Konami to touch that series anymore, but you still want to play a Metal Gear-like game,
Mm-hmm.
I would say give it a try. It's a full-price game, though. But hey.
You know what? I believe that if there is coming a game from Square Enix, you're just going to put it on the list, aren't you?
For the most part, yeah. Hey, keep in mind. Oh no, wait, that was not Square Enix, but yeah. Depending on if the game looks good, yeah, I will.
So, Left Alive coming on March 5th for
Yep.
$60 or your regional equivalent. So just 22 more hours until you can play this.
Yeah.
So I personally would like to start with a game coming from Russia for once. Let me try to read this because it's Cyrillic and I'm not that good with it. Noskov Sergei. So it's Sergei Noskov is the name of the developer and also of the publisher. And this is a puzzle horror platformer named Seventh Sector. And yeah, that's pretty much all you need to hear about this. I think it looks good. Okay, it's Sergei Noskov. I actually read it right. He wrote it in English in the trailer.
Okay.
It's a game made by Unity, and I gotta say, for a game made in Unity, it looks actually amazing. Obviously, it doesn't look as good as if it was made by, let's say, Unreal Engine or something akin to that. But yeah, it looks good. And a horror puzzle platformer actually does sound interesting. And if the Metro gaming series taught us anything, Russians do know how to make good atmospheric games. So I'm hoping Mr. Noskov is going to be capable of at least coming close to that. The game is also coming on March 5th in approximately 16 hours. Sadly, I do not know the price, but I'm gonna assume it's gonna be cheap because it's listed as indie. I think this game could actually go for $20 and still be actually at least worth looking at.
Okay.
Okay, what else do you have to recommend?
And the last game I can recommend is Devil May Cry 5. It's it's a long-awaited sequel to Devil May Cry 4 that everyone's been waiting for, and thankfully it's not the reboot for fans of the series. So
yeah, it's like, what else can you say? Who doesn't know what Devil May Cry is?
yeah.
So
and
when is it coming out?
It's coming out March 8th for $60 for PC, PS4, and Xbox One.
And it's coming out on midnight, actually. That's cool. It's coming out directly on midnight at the 8th.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, so if you're a fan of the series, I'd say you definitely get to try, so.
Okay, and I do also have one more game to recommend, and this is a game called Ethereal. And this is another puzzle game, but this time it's a 2D puzzle game with abstract graphics. And I love the name of the studio, Nonsense Arts. It's coming from Humble Games, and it just looks amazing. Truly, like something people just should really try out because of its looks. It will probably not be something many people will try out, sadly, but it's coming on March 7th, and I do not know the price, sadly. Give me just a second.
What he is doing. Sorry for this, everyone. Just have to wait for a second.
Okay, I'm really sorry about that, but I really had to go pee.
That's fine.
So again, Ethereal coming on March 7th. That means in 3 days. And if you like stuff that's a bit different when it comes to puzzle games, I highly suggest you give this one a try. It has plenty of Game of the Year awards, so it's going to be good.
Okay.
Okay, and that, I think, brings us slowly to the end of the show for today. And as we traditionally do, let's end today's show with a bit of shilling.
Yes.
So why don't you go first?
Alright, you can find me on YouTube as Tygergamer and on Steam as at Tygergamer. I do gameplay, I do Let's Plays, and right now I'm working really hard on one of my first reviews, so I look forward to that.
And you can find me on YouTube at Kralizec Gaming, where I make video game reviews, and on SteemTrail, where I do pretty much the same thing, but I also include a bit of science in there. And with that being said, that's going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's show, and if you did, please consider giving us a thumbs up here on YouTube, and maybe even a like on SteemTrail. And maybe consider subscribing or following the blog. Either way, be sure to leave a comment and be sure to tune in next week for another cool podcast. See you guys later with more gaming content.
Y'all have a good one.